Hey guys, you're here live with MVI. I thought we'd give you something to check out today. Take up some time. We are in a 2013 Cadillac ATS. We are going to add the factory navigation to this guy. Shut this off. This one currently has just the OnStar nav. Even though it says nav, it's just the OnStar. I will start off by saying that this is not going to fix a dead Q screen. So if your screen itself is acting up as far as the touch goes, or sporadic, the icons are jumping, these Q screens have a issue of going out. What we're doing today is not going to affect the screen whatsoever. So if you have this kind of issue, you need to replace the touch screen itself. We do have a video on that. We can help you out with that. If your touch screen is fine and you do want to add the nav, that's where this will come into play. So this car is a little bit tricky, I will warn you. So we'll go through some stuff as we go here. You do always want to make sure your climate control is working. It's going to want us to start it, which I didn't really want to do because we're in the garage here, but make sure the climate control is fully working. No issues changing things around. I'll talk about that here in a second, which this one is. You also want to make sure we've got no lights going on in the dash, which we have none right now except for the seatbelt blinking. So very important, because there's some steps you're gonna have to pay attention to after this is all said and done with this install. So this car can be tricky, and I will be honest, I've gone ahead and done some of the work ahead of time. So to give you an idea, I probably had about an hour's worth of work before starting this video, getting things ready. This car is super low to the ground, hard areas to work in, so it's cramped, but this is the actual install, guys. So if you're thinking of doing this on your own, this is exactly what you'll need to be doing. So we will go ahead and proceed. So I do want to start. Our instructions are typically always emailed, guys. We try to get them in the box if we have them. First of all, I do on the ATS, but we are small, we get super busy, so they don't always make it in the box. So if you're ordering from us, got to check your email for these instructions, but you will get this for the ATS. It is going to kind of go through things one by one as to what needs to be done for this upgrade. We are going to add a new HMI. HMI sits right here, guys. This one's also going to get an antenna, so I'm going to show you the two options there when we get to that point. If you're upgrading to nav, you are going to want to make a mention on the site whether you want to run the factory antenna setup, which does require going to the back of the vehicle, which I will show you. That's what we're going to do here today. Or you can cheat and make things a little bit easier and put an antenna up here, which I'll go over why we kind of get things apart. So with that said, let's get started on taking things apart. Tools you're going to need, guys. For sure 7 mil, 10 mil, 1/4 inch ratchet. The drill is hard to work with in here underneath this area. Ratchet extensions come in handy. Picks, guys, always picks. I'm always using picks straight and an angled. It's the best fit. Always good to have some cutters. Obviously a flashlight of some sort. Sometimes a Phillips. You guys won't have this one in your car. This customer's got some kind of a security thing. It had 2 Phillips here, which just dropped down. Typically won't need to worry about that. You will need some panel poppers. Okay, these are my favorite ones. I'll show you as I'm using those. Magnet always comes in handy. So with that said, guys, also a couple fresh razor blades. I'm always talking about blades, fresh ones. So this panel here, side panel, just pops off. Like I said, I've already gone through and done some of this. Just clips, come out of here, get it out of your way. Then the fun spot part is down here, guys. So to start, there's a 7 mil here, 7 mil here, 7 mil buried back here. And this one's not fun. You do for sure need a small extension like so to access, and that one will come out, but this is the hard one to get to. Why GM decided to put it there, I have no idea. And with this one down, this guy then comes off. So this will slide down, and this just slides off of there, guys. So when we go back up, that's how it's on there. It simply slides off. We're gonna set it out of the way for now. Just get it out of our way. This is your HVAC module. So GM recommends you disconnect the battery before doing this install. I'm not gonna do that. We hardly ever do here. Disconnecting the battery can create other issues with modules and whatnot, powering them back up, so I never really recommend that on these cars. But this is important. Brown comes out last, guys, and this is noted in the instructions. Why, I don't know, but it is. So we're gonna take gray, black, skip brown, go to green. And then take brown off. This guy out of the way. At this point, you don't want to turn the key on for any reason, guys. Once this is out the way, there is a 7mm right here that gets removed, and that will now allow this panel to come down. Now, this is super tight, and that's typically about as far as you're gonna get it. I was able to get this one down over this airbag that's here, but these don't typically like to come out. So, usually what's required is to get the 10mm out the way. Okay, this is an airbag, guys, so be careful. This will drop down. We're just gonna let it hang, guys. You really don't want to go messing with that plug. You can, but we're just gonna let it hang out of the way. Our HMI does sit right here. So again, guys, if you're doing just the factory nav upgrade, you'd pretty much be swapping this one, handling the antenna, you're good to go. Need to pay attention to how this HMI is sitting in here, face down. I've seen this get put in backwards, and if you go back in this way, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna hate yourself. HMI's gotta go back in exactly how this one comes out. So label side facing down. All right. You'll also notice, since this is a 13, this is a 1.1 version. We are going in with a 2.5, which is going to speed up the Q drastically. Better Q performance all the way around. You can go back with the 2.0 if you're doing just a factory nav upgrade. That would be a 2.0, and it's still going to be an enhancement over this. So on a 13, guys, it is a good upgrade, for the simple fact that this slow one's kind of being done away with. At this point, since we're here, if you are doing a factory nav upgrade, you're going to have two options. Option one will be to do it the way the factory does it, the way we do it, and go to the OnStar module with our splitter kit. This will serve as your antenna. Utilizes a shark fin OnStar antenna that's already on the roof of the car. That's going to be your best signal, obviously, but OnStar module sits at the back in the trunk. So we are going to go there. I'm going to show you what's involved. If you want to skip all that though, save yourself some work and cheat, we can send you one of these, genuine GM factory antenna. This is the antenna that's been used for years. Will come with a little piece of Velcro. I have done this. You can stick this antenna right here on top of the glove box, put it back in. It picks up right through the dash pad just fine. No reason to worry over it. It's actually a good solution. So if you want to avoid going to the back, we can definitely do that. We're not going to go with this antenna solution. Again, I'll probably try and make some notes because pretty much all of the Cadillacs, guys, that's what you have to do with the exception of the SRX. SRX is connected up here, XT5, but the cars are all going to be at the back. So I'll probably change the website up a little bit and give you an option to select there as to which antenna you want. Just know that if you go this route, you're going through some more work. So we're adding nav to this vehicle, and I'm going to run a cable to the back. So that said, I'm going to get some panels off, out of our way. Seat's going to come up. Back here, guys, you're going to need a 10mm. You're going to need call them Christmas tree clips. They're pain in the butt plastic clips. I'll show you here in a second. Pick and the 7mm. So I've already got things taken apart back here, so I'm just going to kind of show you as we go. Back seat does flip down, obviously, guys, but this does need to come up. I suppose it maybe doesn't have to. Actually, yes, it does. So it does just pop up. About all we need right there. The 10mm right here, guys, that I've already removed. That's coming up. Comes down. These are those fun clips I was talking about. They're always in there super tight, but these just pop out with this guy there. That tin off. This will be tight, guys. This car's been apart before. This clips in here. If you bring it out and twist it, it will pop out of the way. This guy sits right in there. Pop it out with a pick. 7mm sits right there. I've already removed it. Pull your door gasket down. There is some clips. Allows this to do this number here. Clip there. The seat down. Clip over there. You can see I've already done the other side. So that now gives us room to get somewhat anyway under this panel. And the OnStar module, it's got some clips back there, which if I were to work hard enough, I could probably pop this out, but I'm not going to go through all that. I don't know if you can see it. That's our OnStar module right there. So, let me go to the other side. We are going to need to work with the cables there. We'll explain that here in just a moment. So let me get that all set up. So again, you can't avoid this, guys. You don't have to go through all this, but here we do things factory. Probably finding a way to, and of course, was able to cheat. If you're 15 and a half, 16 and up, you're gonna have two of these cables back here. Another one, this is maroon. The other one will be brown. If you have the two cables, you've got the brown, you work with the brown. Since this is a 13, 14, and early 15, basically, if you have Wi-Fi in your car, guys, or capability of, you don't have to subscribe to it, but if you do have the capability, that's when you'll be working with the brown. Otherwise, if not, you're working with the maroon. You're gonna unplug the maroon. We're gonna send you a cable. Short one looks like this. My end is maroon. Click back into place. The factory, when you remove, goes on to the gray port here. Clicked into place. This one's pink. Clicked right onto the center. And then the blue is what's gonna run up front. And at this point, I need to get cut that Velcro, but there's a clip back in here somewhere. There's a bolt. Actually, two bolts. The spot this goes. So I do happen to have a 10 mil. I'm trying to remember that. If you guys want to do this, guys, there's a, probably can't see that too well, but two studs. It's designed to go right there. Two 10s screw right back down on there, which I do happen to have. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab those real quick. Good job, cameraman. Nice view. Let's see if we can do this without dropping it. What up, Brian? I see you popped in here. How's things for you? Hope you're well. Alright, now we're nice and factory. Alright, guys. It. I can see where some cables can get squished back here, so we're going to make sure all that's in a good spot for our arms. Going back down into place, whatnot here. Should be good. Get a couple of zip ties, and what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna go to the right side of the car, guys. So I'm gonna kind of go around that speaker and zip tie in a couple spots. So I'll show you that here in a second. So for purposes of speeding the video up, not making you watch all this, basically we're gonna take this that way. But there's a nice harness we can zip to here. Then I'm going to tag it with a piece of black tape right here in the center. Go in front of our seatbelt retractor, tagging it down. Finally over there where I'm going to start zipping it. So I'll come back and clean all that up. Make sure it's out of the way for everything to go back into place and secure nicely without cutting the cable or anything else. And then you can just use the factory harnessing, guys. So all we're doing, guys, is just making sure we're not going to get pinched on anything. Going back in. Come back to that. I'm going to do some dressing up here. That clip is going to go down there. Possibility that'll snap it right in two. So I'm going to come back, probably pop this guy out and pull the carpet so I can get it behind there. But again, for purposes of getting through the video here, I'll come back to that part. You want to make sure you're not getting your cable twisted and kinked, guys. This is coax. It is super thin, obviously. Sometimes you just need to give it a little help there. But again, under the carpet, I'm gonna have to come back and do that. But end result, guys, is we'll come up here and plug into our new HMI port. So again, for purposes of speeding up the video, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so aside from putting all this back together, which I don't want to do yet because I'm going to have some routing of the cable to do, what I am going to do is plug this guy back in so we can test. It is all labeled, so you can't really get it wrong. Remember, the brown goes in last. So basically I'm just going to do the exact same process we did going in, or taking out rather, and then the brown. So at this point we can test. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. No lights on the dash, which is good. No check engine light. Climate works. We're in good shape. So, means our module, nothing got set on that. Go back to home, you can now see we have nav, which will load the map once we get outside. Actually, it just picked up because it's using that OnStar antenna, guys. So with that said, had you done it over here, you definitely have to be, we're inside a garage right now, you definitely have to be outside under the clear sky. Can't be all yucky outside, snowing, raining, etc. No overhangs, trees, and then it'll pick up. But from there we got full nav with voice recognition. Now you're back to queue. This is much faster. And from here, we should be able to
say a command or say help.
Navigation.
What type of destination, address, intersection, place of interest, or contact?
Address.
Say the address including city and state, starting with the house number, if available.
1331 Avenue, Westminster, Colorado.
1331, correct?
Yes.
When it is safe to do so, look to the radio display to complete your selection.
So at this point, you're just going to hit go, guys, and it'll guide us. We don't need to do that. But you can see we do have full voice recognition. One other thing that I'll point out here, as soon as that display goes away, there are some changes in the 16 and up nav than what you're used to on the 13, 14, 15. There is no more changeable icon. Also, you can see the up here basically just goes to a bar instead of the nice horizon. It seemed like it might have wanted to bring in some stars there for a second, but the it's going to be an arrow. You can't change it from a car to a truck, etc. GM did take all that away. If you're wanting to subscribe to Nav Traffic, that is done through SiriusXM. That will require a call to those guys, and you will have to subscribe to that. You can see the stars trying to come in the background, but then it just brings that that banner up at the top. So that's pretty much what you have to work with, guys, on the newer stuff. That's just built in the way GM did it. So back to XM Nav Traffic, that is through those guys. If you want to subscribe to that, text me and I can kind of walk you through that process. That can be a little bit challenging itself, but as you can see, another successful upgrade here at MVI. Hope everyone's well. I will get the site updated. Any questions, as usual, call us, text us.